guys. Welcome back. Oh, Chunk, please sit down. Sit down. Chunky, sit. Lay down. Thank you. Well, welcome back to my channel. I guess I should welcome myself back to my channel. I'm not gonna make a long video. I just wanted to show my face and kind of explain to you guys what happened since my last video. So as you already know, I had a miscarriage on the 28th of February. Lay down, Chewy. I was due to be at that point 10 weeks. And when I went for my ultrasound with my OB, it was found that the baby no longer had a heartbeat. As you may can guess, I was devastated, and I'm still devastated. Like, I have no communication, I guess, with the outside world other than my sister. So to rewind, so today is Sunday, March 15th. On the 28th, I had the miscarriage, and so the same day they wanted to do a medical, I guess, abortion, to force the fetus out, and they prescribed cytotic for me. And so I took the cytotic. It's 4 pills. You can either take them orally or you can use them as suppositories, but you have to take all 4 pills. But my OB wanted me to use them as a suppository, so I had to insert all 4 pills inside of my vagina. Chewy, please. Oh my gosh, he's so rotten. So I did that. When I found out at the OB, I told my sister. She was the first person that I called. And she left work early to meet me at home. And she spent the night. So the whole day, I was preparing my mind and my body to no longer be pregnant. So around about 8 o'clock that night, I did the suppository of the cytotic. And I probably am pronouncing that wrong, but for the sake of moving forward in the video, that's just how I'm going to pronounce it. I'll put in the description what it is. But yeah. So around 8 o'clock that night, on the 28th of February, I did the suppository, and then I just waited, you know. So me and my sister, we just watched some movies, and over the course of a few hours, I started getting really, really bad cramps, and getting cramping in my back as well as in my abdomen. And probably around, I had gone to the bathroom a couple of times, and there was I was spotting, but nothing really came out. And then probably around midnight, a little after midnight, Saturday, which would at that point was February the 29th, I passed the fetus. And then at that point, I no longer felt any cramping or anything like that. Um, but I did have to continue to go to the bathroom throughout the night, to expel, of course, the rest of, what would have been the placenta, I guess, all of the blood and stuff like that. So it was, I was passing a lot of clots and stuff like that. This may be TMI, but if you guys um, are existing subscribers, then I am totally transparent about what I'm doing and what I'm going through. So if this is too much for you, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just trying to be as real as possible. Um, so throughout the night, into Saturday morning, I was passing a lot of clots, but I didn't have any pain. Um, and so I didn't get any sleep because I kept going back and forth to the bathroom. And then probably around about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, my sister went to the grocery store because for whatever reason and out of the blue, I started craving crab legs. Like I wanted some crab legs so bad. So she went and got me some crab legs, and then for the most part, I was okay. So I told her to go ahead and go home, and I was fine. I mean, physically, I felt fine. Mentally, I didn't allow myself to process what was going on because it just was too painful to really sit down and um, acknowledge what was happening. But physically, I felt okay. So probably late Saturday, um, I still hadn't gotten any sleep. Um, so I told myself that if I did not go to sleep Saturday night, that Sunday morning, that I was going to make myself a hot toddy with some warm whiskey and stuff like that, and then try to get some sleep. My sister wanted me to take a sleep aid, but I didn't want to take anything else on top of the cytotic and the pain medication that the doctor had prescribed at that point, which was just ibuprofen. But not really taking any medications over the last basically 6 months. I really didn't want to start bombarding my body with more medication. I just wanted to let the cytotic do what it was supposed to do, and then get out of my system as quickly as possible. Um, I finally probably dozed off to sleep around about maybe 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning at this point. So this would be March the 1st. Um, and I got a few hours sleep. I didn't really sleep too long. I may have gotten 2 or 3 hours of sleep, and then I woke up around about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was still feeling okay. I didn't have any pain or anything like that. Um, So I got up and I had been up the rest of the day. But late Saturday night, I started feeling like super cramps. Like it wasn't even like menstrual cramps. It was like something was trying to come out, but it couldn't get out, for whatever reason. And so all throughout the night when I tried to go to sleep, um I just could not go to sleep because the pain was just so unbearable. It was in my back. It was in my abdomen. I was starting to get a headache. The pain was so bad. Um, and then on top of that, I started dry heaving. Like I couldn't vomit because I didn't have any food in my stomach to begin with. But I started feeling so bad, and to the point where it scared me. And now it takes a lot to scare me, especially about my, you know, it just, I just felt unwell. So I called my sister because all throughout the night I kept going to the bathroom, and I kept trying to pass whatever was trying to come out that wasn't trying to come out. And at this point, I could barely even walk. Um, and so I called my sister, and my sister ended up calling the ambulance for me. They had to come and get me from my home, and take me to the emergency room. And my sister met me at the emergency room. So at this point is early Monday morning. Um, it's probably now. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning is when I finally got to the emergency room. And I was in so much pain, and throughout the riding in the ambulance, I was continuing to trying to vomit. I couldn't vomit, like my stomach was empty, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop the motion of trying to vomit, which was causing my stomach to hurt. My head was killing me at this point. My abdomen, my back was still killing me because whatever was trying to pass just would not come out. Um, by the time we got to the hospital, which felt like forever, um, they kept trying to ask me questions and stuff, and I tried to answer their questions as much as I could, but I was in so much pain, guys. Um, and then they finally took me back to one of the OR rooms, the emergency room, rooms or whatever, and the nurse came in, and then the doctor came in, and I just remember me asking the lady, the admittance nurse or whatever, asking her why wasn't they helping me, because I was in so much pain. And then I kept trying to throw up, and I couldn't throw up, so I was just in a real bad place. um and then my sister finally got to the emergency room, and um I remember at that point the pain had got so bad that something did come out, but and at that point I had a pad on, um but I could not get undressed, because they were still trying to admit me into the emergency room. um the doctor left, and then the nurse came in, and he, um by the grace of God, gave me some morphine. And when I tell you guys, it was like immediately the pain went away. Um, like I was everything was bearable at that point. Like I felt so much relief, um, that I could, stop everything. Like I couldn't feel my head hurting anymore. I couldn't feel the cramps. I couldn't feel um the pain of my stomach for me trying to throw up, and I couldn't, and nothing was coming out. Like I immediately stopped feeling everything. Um and so at that point, um they wanted to take me to get an ultrasound, because they wanted to see. At this point, they were thinking that I had an incomplete miscarriage. So they were thinking that the cytoctic did not help expel everything. Then I still had um, stuff still left in there. So I went to the ultrasound, and you know, in order, so she did two different ultrasounds. So she did the one where they put the wand on your stomach, and then well on in your lower abdomen to see what they can see, and um then she wanted to do a vaginal ultrasound. By the time she went to do the vaginal ultrasound, a massive clot had came out, and thank God I was still pumped full of morphine that I couldn't feel it, because literally it was as big as my fist. Um, and then, hold on, guys. Um, and then as I was there before she put the wand in, another clot came out as big as my fist. And so she did the ultrasound, and then they sent me back to my room. At this point, it was probably around, I want to say 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. So this would be what, the second, March 2nd. And so me and my sister were sitting in the room waiting for them to come back to tell us what the hell was going on. And every time, hours went by, and every time my sister went to ask the doctor or the nurse what was going on, they kept saying they were waiting for the ultrasounds, that the ultrasound didn't get to the doctor because something was wrong with the transmission from whatever machine to the doctor in order for them to get the results or whatever. So probably that was going on for like 5 hours before I told them, you know what? I am going the fuck home. Like, me and my sister was literally there from 3 o'clock in the morning until almost noon. Honestly, we were almost there until noon. Monday morning, Monday afternoon. So when I finally said that, to discharge me, that that I just can't take it anymore. I just want to go home. Then all of a sudden the results came in, and the doctor came in, and she was like, yeah, you had an incomplete miscarriage, and you still had product. That's what they call the leftovers. After you pass the fetus, they call it product was still left in. And that what they wanted to do was give me another round of cytotic, to force the rest of the product out. This time they wanted me to chew the 4 pills, put it in my cheek to make it a paste, and put it in my cheek and let it work that way. So they did all of that, and they prescribed some more pain medication, and then they sent me home. So at this point, I'm exhausted. And they did not, like, after they did all of that, we were still waiting for them to discharge us. They never came back to discharge us. Well, the doctor came back to discharge me, but the nurse never came in with my discharge paper. So me and my sister, we just up and left. I was like, fuck this, I want to go home. So I went home, and now at that point, I had to reach out to my job to let them know that, over the course of the weekend, that I had a miscarriage, and that um, I was going to be able to be in this week, and I needed to start my paperwork for FMLA and for sick leave and stuff like that. So in the midst of that, I was like, fuck, I need to get that damn discharge paperwork, because I need that paperwork in order to turn into my job. So at this point, I still hadn't gone to sleep. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the evening, Monday evening. And so I called and I asked them, can they fax the paperwork to me or fax it to my job? And they were like, if it goes through records, that that it takes 10 days for them to transmit, for them to process the paperwork in order for them to release the information to my job. But if I were to go back up to the hospital, I could get my hard copy of my discharge paperwork right then. So at this point, my sister had already, she didn't go to work Monday because she was with me all morning, and she had went home. And at this point, I'm at home by myself. So I had to drive back up to the hospital to get the discharge paperwork so that I could get that stuff together and fax it over to my job so they can start my medical leave um, documentation. Okay, so that was Monday. I was already due to go back to my OB on Wednesday, which was okay, second, 2, 3. So it was the 4th, right? So the rest of Monday I didn't feel anything. Tuesday I didn't feel anything. Nothing really came out. And so on Wednesday when I went to my OB, they did an ultrasound and found that there was still product left in my uterus. And at this point, I'm starting to feel the cramping again. It's not as bad as it was before, but I'm still starting to feel cramping in my back, cramping in my uterus, as if I'm trying to pass something, but it will not come out. At this point, I'm just exhausted. Like my body is like, it's just, I can't even explain it. Like I'm just physically and mentally tired at this point. So, after the ultrasound at my OB, um, they wanted me to try a third round of cytotic. Um, and this time they wanted me to take it vaginally again as a suppository, the 4 pills. So, Wednesday evening after I left from my doctor's appointment, I went home and I immediately took the cytotic so that because it takes a few hours for it to start working, because I wanted to be able to get some rest Wednesday evening. When I tell you guys nothing happened, nothing fucking happened. Nothing came out. I still felt pain and cramping. And so since nothing happened overnight, I called my OB immediately when they opened on a Thursday morning. And I told them that I couldn't take it anymore, that I was still in pain, and if they could go ahead and do the DNC. And the DNC is a surgery where they have to put you to sleep, and they go in vaginally with this little spoon scoop thingy, and they just scrape out your uterus. They just take everything out of your uterus. So I had called at 8 o'clock Thursday morning, and they had me go in at 1 o'clock that evening for surgery. So I had to go into the hospital, and I was there from 1 o'clock in the evening until about 7 o'clock at night, waiting for them to do my surgery. The operation rooms or whatever kept getting booked with emergencies, so I kept being pushed back. So finally, when they did my surgery, it was around 7 o'clock, 7:30 ish, Thursday night. I can't remember too much after the surgery, because, as I said, they have to put you to sleep. I do remember that I forced myself by all the will I could muster to go ahead and force myself to use the bathroom, because they won't let you go home until you've used the bathroom. So even though I was in so much pain, I did not want them to give me any pain medications because pain medication slows down your body, and I did not want that to um, stop me from using the bathroom. So um, I asked the nurse if she can give me something to eat. She gave me some crackers and some juice. And then probably about 30 or 40 minutes later, I went to the bathroom. And probably another hour after that, I was being discharged from the hospital. I was ready to go home, um, and get in my own bed and be in my own space at that point. Um, so my sister came to the hospital. She was there just before I went into surgery. And then she drove me home. I had to take the Uber to the hospital because they would not, I could not drive home. So I did not want to leave my truck there. Um, so my sister came. Um, and that fucking Uber ride was like $50, guys. Anywho, so my sister came just before I went into surgery. And after the surgery, she brought me home. Um, and then after that, when I got home, I think I ate a little bit, and then I went to bed because I was still feeling the remnants of the anesthesia, and so I was good and ready to go to sleep. I got home around about, I want to say, 10 o'clock that night, Thursday night. Friday morning, I woke up and I felt so much better. I felt relief, like I didn't feel any pain in my uterus or in my back, anything like that. Um, I felt relief. Physically, I felt relief. Mentally, I still have not, at that point, had not um, processed that I was no longer pregnant, that I lost the baby. And even now, today is the 15th of March, I still have not mentally processed that that I lost the baby. Um it's just so much was going on at one time, and I didn't have the time to really focus on it, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to get back to work. So Friday I took the time to just, make sure that I was taking care of myself, and I rested the whole day, and I did the same thing Saturday and Sunday. And then I wanted to go back to work on Monday, but I couldn't because my doctor had not released me to go back to work yet. So I had to wait for my doctor to get to my job saying, "Hey, yeah, she's released, and you can go ahead and she can go ahead and return back to work." So so on Tuesday um is when I returned back to work. Um Excuse me, guys. Um and so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, um I just worked. And um I've been working from home. My boss told me to work from home, so I've been working from home. And plus, now, since with this whole coronavirus thing going on, my whole company has made it mandatory for everyone to work from home. So I have not been back into the physical office, and there's no telling when we will be able to go back into the physical office. But as of now, I'm 100% teleworking, which was good because still, I really wasn't um, in the mood to, you know, even though it wasn't a lot of people at work who knew I was pregnant. My directors knew I was pregnant, and then, They had to find out. I'm pretty sure my direct manager has told them that I lost the baby, and I just wasn't in the mood to see people feeling sorry for me, if that makes sense, you know. So and it hasn't even been a topic of discussion, except for my direct manager, who I'm 100% open with him about what has been going on, and he expressed how sorry he was, and glad that I was and glad that I was able to return to work, and um, but other than that, is not many people at work knew what was going on in the first place, so um that helped a lot. Um, I did, of course, the day that it happened, I did notify all of the family members and friends who knew that I was pregnant and told them what was going on. But to be truthfully honest, guys, I have no notion of speaking to anyone um, at all, except for my sister, who has been um, one of the main people who have you know just been there for me during this time. um Outside of my sister, I just have not had a tolerance to even talk to anyone else. No family members, no friends, no nothing. It's just, I'm just I cocooned myself basically into my house. And um up until Friday, I had not even left my house since the surgery, um, because I just did not have the notion to want to leave. And on top of that, uh, with this coronavirus stuff going on, I did not, you know, want to be out about in the streets anyway. And the only reason I left on Friday is because finally my fucking truck was ready. Um, from the car accident I had the week prior to me losing the baby. So my truck had been in the shop this whole time. I was in a rental truck this whole time. And so my truck was finally ready on Friday, and I went to pick it up on Friday. Otherwise, I probably would have still been in the house. Um, I'm not going to say that I've been able to process me losing the baby, but I know that everything happens for a reason. And God knows how scared I was to have a child that would have had some sort of mental or physical defect. Um, Even though I would have, done what I needed to do to take care of my child. It was always something in the back of my mind, of, possibly having a child with Down syndrome or something like that, or some physical limitations. Um, and so God always know what he's doing. And I have faith in his choices. I may not like his choices, just like your parent. If your parent tells you no for something, it's for a reason. And so I have faith in his plan for me. Um, does it hurt? Yes. Am I sad? Yes. Um, but I know that it just wasn't my time right now. And I also do know that he does not want me to stop um, trying to be a mom, which I'm not going to. And, you know, probably within another month, well, in a few weeks, I have an appointment with my fertility doctor for us to discuss next steps. I don't want to get too much into that right now. I'll discuss that, in a later video. But I did want to come and record this video so that you guys can see that I'm okay. I am sad. Um, I am mourning the loss, but I'm gonna be okay. and the journey to rainbow baby is I would have never thought that that would be something that I would have to say, that on the journey to rainbow baby, but I am. I guess that's about it. This video is almost 40 minutes long as it is. But I just want you guys to see my face and hear what has been happening these last couple of days and weeks, and that all of you guys support and comments and everything means a lot to me. I mean, I have not really been able to go through all of the comments on the last video that, about the miscarriage, because some of them, really touched my heart, and it's hard to keep my thoughts together. And I didn't want to have like a crying fit. I guess that's what I can say. So I'll try to force myself to get through the comments soon. But I just wanted you guys to know that um, just you stopping and taking the time to watch my videos and even leave a comment means so much to me. And I know that a lot of you are on your own journey, and I pray to God that you don't experience what I just experienced. And then I pray to God, if you do, that you have the strength to continue on, because it's never ending. And when it happens, it'll be at the right time. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to end this video here. I'm going to try to upload it tomorrow, which is Monday. Let me see, Monday, March the 16th. I'm going to try to upload it tomorrow so you guys can see that I am as okay as I can be, if that makes sense. Anywho, to all the new subscribers who may have just joined, just as this bad news came out, please take solace in our previous videos, my actual journey from my first two IUIs which failed, to the third IUI which was successful, but it did end in a miscarriage. So the journey was quite long, and I'm not going to give up, so don't you give up. With that being said, guys, that's it. And as always, keep the faith and stay positive. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.